minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Hello, and welcome to the first Film Ireland podcast of 2015. I'm here with Rory Drumm and Richard Moore. Rory Moore
in unison now.
Richard Drumm, and the last day there, they heard all about what we heard in 2014. What do we think of 2015 so far? Starting with the news.
I really hate how you segue into that. I'm straightening a tie. I feel like I should be. Anyway, I'm going to start with Irish news as usual because we like to do that because that's in the title of the podcast. So the first one is Sundance Film Festival is on at the moment, and
Yay!
Brooklyn, which is
We go hard.
Crowley. John Crowley.
I can't do anything with Crowley.
No, you can't.
But I've read that book.
Please don't try. You have read the book, based on Colin Tobin. I should probably say the name of the film first. Brooklyn,
Very good book. Very nice man, Colin Tobin. Met him once at a reading of one of his books.
Nice. Nice.
Well, unless you can get him into the podcast, that's relevant.
I can do a very good impression, but to be honest, it's just a crass camp voice.
So let's not do that.
No.
If we're stuck for time, I mean, maybe, but
yeah.
So,
I recommend the books of Colin Tobin, though. Don't know about the film yet.
Well, if you give me a second to speak,
Fine.
we will get to see it. It's been picked up by Fox at Sundance after its first screening. It's getting rave reviews, all that crack. Pretty much the same story that we had with Frank last year, where it got picked up straight away.
It's getting rave reviews.
Yeah.
It must be hard to hear the reviews over all the techno music.
oh Lord.
Am I right?
Based on a book by Colin Tobin about a young woman who leaves 1950 in Ireland for New York and
in a DeLorean
runs into some.
We're not drunk enough, I don't think.
1950s Ireland, so no, it wouldn't be a DeLorean. Go away. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but the way you said she leaves 1950 Ireland.
I'm sorry, I won't try to set you up with innocuous phrases.
My God,
again.
that would be like some humanitarian work if you ever had a DeLorean, and you were to pick an era to rescue people from. I'd actually go to 1950s Ireland before the famine, because I think the famine has a bit of a danger about it.
Why?
Well, it's just 1950s Ireland. It just sounds so shit. Even the movie said
that's why people went to New York. It's just
awful.
Just a big smelly boat.
Big smelly boat. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good book. Who's
yeah.
in it again?
Donald Gleeson and Saoirse Ronan.
Very good. I like one of them.
Yeah. That's this week's quiz, is it?
Text in with your answers.
What I like. So that is the Irish news and pretty much all the Irish news. We're going to have a bit of background vibration there.
Bit of background vibration.
Richard is currently being beamed up into a UFO as we speak.
Come back, Richard. Come back.
The roof is kind of stopping me from leaving.
Yeah.
So that's at Sundance, is it? And it's doing well?
It is doing well, and also doing well at Sundance for Irish film is Glasslands. You've seen Gerard Barrett, Pilgrim Hill, haven't you?
I have seen Pilgrim Hill.
This is his second film. Have you seen Pilgrim?
I have not.
Enjoyed Pilgrim Hill.
Worth a look. It's quite good.
I've heard that.
Usual stories. I don't know if they're apocryphal or not, but rumor about how he made it with $5,000 loan from the credit union or something.
Is it an Irish film? Let's correspond here to John Martin Michael McDonough. Is it an Irish film? Yes. All right, very good.
Only because there are cows in it, though.
Oh, right. I see. Yeah.
Because we film boring things about cows. Are there cows in Calvary?
Yes.
I think there's just fields with no cows.
There's loads of fields. Maybe he had them digitally.
There has to be a cow somewhere in there.
He's ashamed of his roots.
This is another. Anyway.
Okay.
God, we're so behind on our bitching.
Yeah.
That's ages
That's
ago.
still relevant.
And I still kind of get where he was coming from, but I dug himself a verbal hole. But anyway, he's fun to poke fun at.
Apologise immediately, so we're just being dicks about it.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah. Glasslands is Gerard Barrett's follow-up to Pilgrim Hill. It's about a young taxi driver who's kind of trying to get his family out of debt, between debt and drugs and this kind of thing. I'm not sure.
Driving a taxi is the best way to do that as well.
I would think so.
Yeah,
you
considering
can literally drive away from those
considering
things.
the place were deregulated a few years ago and it's very difficult to make money. Is he racist?
Is who racist?
The taxi driver.
I don't know that yet.
Oh.
It hasn't come up in the Sundance reviews.
Okay.
Shockingly. But
does he have a mohawk?
And that is out April 17th, I think. We haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure we will wax poetic about it when we do.
Undoubtedly.
Do you know why they call it? Do you know why it's called the Sundance Film Festival?
I do not.
Do you?
No.
It's run by Robert Redford.
Oh.
And founded by him, the Sundance Kid.
Sense.
That's disappointing to know, actually.
Are there any big
Really?
festivals?
It's probably like a pagan thing or something. That's less interesting.
Oh,
Maybe we find that away for another Cineworld table quiz, so you can go in another yellow refill pad.
Why not?
Yeah.
How else do I get my paper? How else do you get your paper? buy it like a pleb.
This is actually Bank of Ireland diary from 2000.
Well, then there you go.
It's vintage. I paid 70.
Even bleep out that mention of a financial institution, please.
Yeah, so that's pretty much that. Other kind of tangentially Irish news, Michael Fassbender has been cast as Steve Jobs.
Oh yeah, right, that's very good news. In a Danny Boyle movie, thank God, another Danny Boyle movie.
Yeah, but I don't really, I in this case I actually don't care, because I don't want to see a Steve Jobs.
No, I'm in the same camp as you.
First of all, I do. I read a book about the guy. He's a very interesting guy. And anything that I've seen so far, I haven't thought much of. That documentary film they released about him, $1 Billion Hippie, really wasn't up to much. It's more of a propaganda piece. There was an interesting take in the 90s, but it's so 90s it's painful to watch. It's called Pirates of Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting
Even
take, but
that
it's
name.
so 90s it's genuinely painful. Like, it's like John Hughes directed it.
I'm interested.
But with the guy from ER. Character from ER as Steve Jobs, it's pants. Anyway, but no, and then I didn't watch that other.
Oh, the Ashton Kutcher one.
Because Ashton Kutcher
That
was
sounded
in it, obviously.
dreadful when I heard about it.
Yeah, I just don't like Ashton Kutcher.
He didn't look the part though. That's literally
He
what I have
did.
to say about that. I never saw
Well,
it.
he does look like Steve Jobs, but essentially there wasn't an episode of Punk'd featuring a black person that didn't involve the police. Answer that.
I can't verify that.
No.
And back to the racist question again.
There we go. Ashton Kutcher is a racist.
But,
So yeah,
Don't bleep that
but
out.
it's going to be a new Danny Boyle movie also, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty if nothing else, and I'm hoping it comes out more Social Network than anything. That style of
That would be appreciated.
And plus,
yeah.
as well, like Danny Boyle, the last film he released for me was the second kind of nothing of his career. I didn't really feel Trance was up to much.
Oh, trans.
Oh, I actually still haven't even seen
Either
it.
have I, yeah.
And he has, I don't know if it's out yet, but he has an upcoming series with James Nesbitt.
That's right. I'm really looking forward to that.
That one.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's been pushed back, I think. So
Eh,
that kind of scares me. But anyway, I'm the one who's going to be here like 2 weeks giving out or loving Jupiter Ascending, and that was pushed back by 6 months. So it's not like that's relevant. But anyway, yeah, next news then is, you're going to love this one. Chris Pratt has been linked to Indiana Jones potentially. Now this is literally just a rumour, but
It's such a good idea, though. It just makes so much
No, it
sense.
doesn't.
Oh, it
It's
does.
happened, 'cause I've already talked about it.
Just put it down and fucking leave it.
Oh no, I agree. Kill it. But if they're not going to kill it, that is the best way of keeping it going.
All right. Yeah.
Would you rather Shia LaBeouf do it again?
Right. First of all, no. I'd like a new ideas in general, but that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not.
I understand why they're fucking doing it, but like right. He has a franchise already that's just started, and it looked like it's going pretty good, to be quite honest. And yeah, he's doing the thing in Jurassic World. It feels like they're just floating this rumor out there to piss me off, just because what does it piss me off about it so much is that the original Indiana Jones movies, despite making a shit ton of cash, being great blockbusters, really came from the heart and were made by people who loved movies and wanted to make them.
Yeah.
They're made with a helping of affection. I mean, even the deluded fever dream that is the fourth one that's just been cancelled out of existence, it does feel like it comes from George Lucas's heart, just from the fact that it's quite...
His heart was hollowed out by that stage.
Yeah, it was just from the fact that it's quite simply bonkers and stupid as the Star Wars prequels was.
Very true.
I thought like the first ones, they're just great, and just why does it need to be made? The world doesn't need this.
Well, I don't feel any outrage that they're resurrecting it and dancing it around.
Yeah.
For money. It's more those films just don't work today, bar the nostalgic crew who are going to go see it and hope it's like the early Indiana Jones. If it was exactly like the early
But you
Indiana
know the
Jones,
thing is
people
as
would
well.
like it today.
Would you prefer a modern
No,
update of it? That'd be even
no,
worse.
I'd have to interject on that. I think the only difference is they wouldn't make Indiana Jones nowadays. I think you still, maybe I'm wrong in this, but I think genuinely, if you showed Indiana Jones to 9 out of 10 children today, they'd still go, like the original ones, I think they'd still go, oh my effing G, that's fantastic.
I don't know. I've often debated that about Star Wars. I'm not sure if they would
Especially
anymore.
What people... No, I think Indiana Jones actually harbours more appeal for the youth than Star Wars. It's less complicated. It's just a roller coaster ride. And I
I'd
think
agree with that much,
especially
yeah.
what people perceive as the weakest one, being Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
is such a roller coaster ride. Like,
Boring,
I'm literally
yeah.
almost actually in the mine shafts. But it's such... And it actually... Oh, God, I'm terrible.
Disneyland
It is a
ride,
Disneyland ride. It's a ride in Disneyland Paris.
No, I mean,
you go backwards in a mine shaft.
Like, my fundamental thing on this is I don't care. Like, I have great nostalgia for the older ones. I still love them. I will still love them if
They're still
they look
great.
pants. I'm probably going to see the new one, but I've no interest at the same
I
time.
actually won't. I think it's one of the few things I can say out loud that I won't see this.
Yeah?
It's like I've never...
Even if reviews come back saying it actually does it justice.
No, I've never watched The American Office and people say that's pretty alright. I'm just like, no, that's perfect. Why are you going near it? And
That's
the Indiana
commitment.
Jones trilogy as is... And I think people... the funniest thing about the fourth one is, despite the fact that it made loads of money, I think just the world at large is kind of pretending it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is grand, like.
Everything I read about that implied that it was kind of testing the waters for relaunching it with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, it was.
Being Indiana Jones' son and carrying it on. Henry Jr. or...
Which actually, it turned out to be a sort of a zeitgeist occasion, because it was nearly somebody posted a 99 thesis on the doors, just saying, "Do you not get it, Hollywood? We don't like Shia LaBeouf. Nobody likes Shia LaBeouf. Stop it."
I'm sorry, you've seen that musical video?
Okay.
Shia LaBeouf, greatest
That's very good, yeah.
Look, type that into Google, people, if you haven't seen him before.
I liked him in Even Steven.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, there's a throwback.
Yeah, he sold out, he hit puberty, and it was like, he just didn't need it anymore.
Oh god, he was such a cool little kid in that. I actually really enjoyed that. But yeah, no, to be honest, I can't see it happening. I'd actually take
I could see it happening. Look at the box office for Guardians. I can very much see it happening.
Well, that's actually the saddest thing about it for me, is he has such currency now that he could do anything he wants, and he's attached to this. Well, no, sorry, this is rumoured, but he's in Jurassic Park. He's attached to the Magnificent Seven. I would say.
Yeah.
Is that happening as well?
Yeah, with Denzel Washington.
Oh
remake.
god.
And what's the actual one? Yeah, he's already done Han Solo in Guardians of the Galaxy. So
Yeah.
that's why this is happening. It's probably why
he was also stealing an artifact at the beginning of that film, which was exactly like the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
And wasn't it great then? So yeah, you'd watch it again.
It's just turned into like, it's like someone in Hollywood went, "Do you know what that's like? I bet no one has thought about that." And James Gunn's going, "No, that's what we were doing. No, it's not."
But there's a certain appeal, right? Harrison Ford as a leading man in that kind of role is very, very special. There's nobody else really who can do it.
But even he can't do it anymore.
I think Chris Pratt actually, this sounds dickish.
They'll just make him be Chris Pratt. That's what they'll
Just do some acting, yeah.
Yeah, they'll just make him be Chris Pratt.
But he's so entertaining to watch.
I know, but
okay.
Even when you look at, I don't know if any of you watch Parks and Rec, but that's
I've seen bits of it.
about him in some way. Which is again, he's quite funny, but it's kind of like he has enough currency now, he can do whatever he wants. He's attached enough franchises where...
Well, he's not going to do like these kind of like French art house movies, is he? He's going to just
attach himself to like the likes of the films James Gunn was making before he made Guardians of the Galaxy.
He could do. I mean, no, they're like. Okay, people have made stranger leaps before. Like, look at Adam Sandler showing people he can act occasionally.
Well, maybe we're looking we're actually ahead of the curve for once on film, and we're looking 5 years down the line where he's going to do the necessary thing every actor like that has to do. It's kind of, but I can do serious acting.
Nymphomaniac Part 3.
This is my Oscar movie. But on a slightly related note, we also have Ghostbusters news, where dragging out our childhoods.
As someone who actually hasn't seen the original Ghostbusters, I don't care.
Like as well, the director of that as well. Like the right, what's it?
Paul Feig.
Yeah. Like he's just produced all sorts of dross as far as I'm concerned. You can just keep going. I don't mind. I mean, like, to be honest, it's what annoys me about the Indiana Jones film is that the people are tackling that very much. You can see it from every angle, not from a loving movies point of view. The new Ghostbusters thing is just going to be bad, and your man probably thinks it's going to be good, but it's not going to be good. It's going to be bad. So who gives a shit?
Well, you're always going to get to talk about the fan service, even if no matter how cynically they're attacking it. Like it's. To be honest,
this isn't going to be good. It's like this guy. This is the guy who heralded that thing with Melissa McCarthy, Tammy.
Oh, Tammy, yeah.
Yeah, which was apparently a passion project of theirs for years, and it is so fucking bad. And I don't think there's worse things than a comedy missing the point, and that's so fucking bad.
Well, actually, that's what I was going to say. Like, I actually quite like the cast of it: Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones, except for Melissa McCarthy. I like Melissa McCarthy, but I have a feeling she's going to be.
She's getting a lot of hate these days.
People have been saying this for ages. What do you like Melissa McCarthy?
I like her in Bridesmaids.
She was good in Bridesmaids, yeah.
Pretty much the same role.
I don't like her in Bridesmaids.
Well,
she's got one of the funnier scenes in the film, but overall it's just like, I'm big and I'm loud, and that's her thing. I don't like Melissa McCarthy.
It's kind of a.
When's she been good in anything?
She was good in Gilmore Girls. I'm going to fucking hand in whatever credibility I have to right now and say she was good in the Gilmore Girls.
Forgot that show existed to us now.
Something good in the Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. Also, My Name.
Oh yeah, Rory.
Attached to it.
Rory Gilmore.
Also, I'm prettier, so it's fine.
I'm so confused what you're talking about right now.
You've never seen Gilmore Girls?
I've seen bits of it. I couldn't name the characters though.
Comes in 2 film degrees. No?
Well, do you know what? Oh god, just turn on probably network television at 1 o'clock any day, any country. You'll find Gilmore Girls.
No, I've seen bits of it, yeah, that way.
Was where I got me.
It's a bit like, Adam, my housemate loves it as well, actually. It's just, it has that same thing that Dawson's Creek has going on for it. It's just like, it's kind of grating. It's just like, okay, first of all, nobody talks like that. Like, screenwriters maybe talk like that when they draft the way they speak a few times in their heads. Like, it's just so glaringly, like, intellectual.
The Joss
like,
Whedon paradox.
I'm sorry. Like, the writers might be, like, optimistic about the way the future is, but nobody who can speak that well works in a fucking coffee shop.
Yeah, but that show went on for so long that there are definitely, like, 20-year-olds in America now who do talk like that because they grew up watching the Gilmore Girls. That's getting a bit...
This is getting really crazy.
Yeah, alright. But any other news?
Okay, cool. I have one thing. Sky Arts Funding giving out 10 grand for at least one proposed short film script. That's ending at the end of February, so you've got a few weeks left on that. I'm going to shove something in. I think maybe this podcast could use a bit more of a budget, personally.
Stick a camera up in the corner.
A new Richard, a new Rory. Come on. It's going to be... I like Hammond. I love his presenting work.
I'll happily be bought out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having a clone, yeah.
And Rory from the Gilmore Girls, which will involve hiring an actress, but she's so pretty.
Well, I'm already going to be in the actual Gilmore Girls remake.
Oh, good to know.
Right. Yeah, because I do speak like that.
Alright, cool beans. So we do have interviews.
Terrence McMahon. Patrick's Day.
Terrence McMahon, director of Patrick's Day, which we'll be reviewing at a future date on the podcast.
Jingle, 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 jingle,
jingle, jingle.
I'm wondering, like, at the kind of the starting point of the movie. Wanted to make a film about a schizophrenic, and the reason being is that schizophrenia, and the reductionist sense of the diagnosis, is about the inability to differentiate between illusion and reality. And I wanted to find a way of thematically exploring that in a dramatic construct. I love characters who have difficulty defining the difference between illusion and reality. I love characters who have the courage to pursue what they think is right, despite the fact that the consequences can be profound. So in the negative and the positive, I think it's a great thing that we respond to, the aspiration of a character. And all the characters in the film, with no exceptions, have an aspiration towards something that might be minute to us but profound to them, or might be profound to us but is only seen as minute to them. So a mother who's trying to protect her son, who believes that her love will justify all kinds of aberrations, is in itself the kind of mental illness that we're exploring. And I love the idea of having a character who thinks that despite all consequences, they must do what they believe is right. On a political level, as a political metaphor, we have a government doing that at the moment, who justify to themselves completely aberrant behaviour, trying to qualify it as being beneficial to the people, when in actuality they are doing untold damage. So it works as a political metaphor and as a human story.
You don't understand. He has mental health issues. He's not able to look after himself.
I was just interested in the reception that the film has got to people who suffer from these kind of mental illnesses. If the reception been positive, have they been good about the portrayal of it? Well, it's funny because before we made it, I made sure the script was as freely available as possible to anybody who wanted to read it. And we did a lot of research, and I spoke to many different groups and many different individuals on both sides of the diagnostic fence. And schizophrenia is such a controversial subject anyway. It's such an emotive, extreme response. So I met with people who claimed that the film was not representative of their lives, and I met others who claimed that the film was like it was their life recorded and summed up. So we wanted to make sure that we did not cause any unintentional offence to anybody, but at the same time we wanted to remain true to an authentic world. And what subsequently happened is I've received a staggering amount of letters and emails from people who've been so profoundly moved by it and feel empowered by it within the reductionist realm of their diagnosis that it's actually humbling, really humbling. And then we have people like Professor Ivor Brown, one of the great mavericks in Europe, stand not just toe-to-toe or shoulder-to-shoulder with the film, but actually make these extraordinary declarations about how authentic it is in the realm of his 45 years of experience. We have Dr. Garrett O'Connor, the amazing Garrett O'Connor from the Johns Hopkins Institute, the former head of the Betty Ford Clinic. We have him making these extraordinary public statements about the film. So it's working in a way that has even transcended our aspirations.
What are you doing here on your birthday?
Waiting.
You got a name?
Patrick.
Thank Christ you weren't born on April Fool's Day.
To talk about Mo Dunford and role. I understand that you kind of had to fight to keep him into this role now.
Well, Mo is one of those. I think Mo is kind of a one in a generation talent, to be honest with you. But nobody knows that yet. So there are people who, understandably and justifiably, are saying, we have a couple of well-known named actors who want to play this role. Why are you going with an unknown? And I believe that Mo had the capacity to go to a place that no one else really could go to. So, in order to justify casting him, I brought him home after the casting. There was a football match on that night. There was a couple of mates of mine coming around to have a beer. And we got Mo drunk and brought him into the sitting room. And my daughter has this beautiful dog, a border collie mix. And the dog jumped all over him and licked his face and gave him such love. And he was telling the dog how much he loved her and the whole lot. And I was filming it. I uploaded it to YouTube, sent it to the financiers, and they cast him that night.
Have to look up that on YouTube now.
It'll be on the DVD extras.
Oh, great, okay. Actually, pretty much been justified, really, because Mo win the Rising Star Berlin Festival.
Won the Shooting Star in Berlin. He's won awards in America, and he's been embraced in a way in America that's incredible. You know, heavyweight agents, heavyweight casting directors, heavyweight everybody suddenly want to be a part of him. So and in defense of the finances, they were profoundly happy with him in the end. So it's just, it's one of those things where to take a risk on an unknown entity is a difficult thing. If it doesn't pay off, you're in trouble. If it does pay off, everybody's thrilled.
You need to take that risk anyway to ensure.
Most of the times we don't, though. Most of the times
you need to stay safe.
Yeah, we just replicate what we feel already works, and that's one of the reasons why that repetition becomes tiresome for an audience.
Jingle, 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 jingle.
And now, lads, here we are back in the basement. Now you're going to be hearing our own valued opinions. It's been a while since we've been in here, and there's been a whole Oscar season to really wade through. But
a while since we've had valuable opinions too.
I'm going to suppose we pop open with one we were all literally in the screening for together over in the Lighthouse there a couple of weeks ago, which is Alex Garland's directorial debut, Ex Machina. What did we think of it?
Ex Machina. Please.
Sorry, this is the Donnchadh Tiernan show. Yeah, so I suppose a quick summary first. This is Alex Garland, his first film as director, but he's been writer behind
28 Days Later, wrote The Beach, in the book, I think.
Basically, a lot of good movies.
Indeed.
Oh, also Dread.
Oh, Dread, yeah, Dread.
Such intellectual forays as that. But yeah, so
I really like the
oh, it's a great movie.
I did too, yeah, but it's kind of like there's something.
It's one of those few ones that I genuinely recommended to people a lot that they see in 3D. The 3D I saw it in the cinema, was brilliant.
Good hearing that.
It was fantastic.
Anyway, Ex Machina is the story of a young programmer named Caleb who is invited to the kind of mountainside retreat of this big tech mogul played by Oscar Isaacs. And basically, as the week unfolds, he realises he's there to test this new form of AI. But all is not as it seems, which it rarely is. It would be a wonderful if it was.
Right, now I hate to use this particular turn of phrase, but what is the name of your one who plays the robot?
Is it your one? You hate saying. That's bog lingo, man.
Yeah.
Alicia Vikander.
Well done.
She's the best thing in this film.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
She was brilliant. I think the film itself, I thought it was really, really, really good. When I first saw it, I thought that's a perfect movie to begin as a director because it shows what you can do with a budget. But then the more I think about it and the way Alex Garland has made movies before, he's tended to work towards isolation and isolated situations in a lot of his writing.
It's very true.
Small groups of people in places like
and this essentially, it kind of has 4 characters and there's some extra characters at the start, but not really. This is about 3 characters.
Yeah.
And overall, I really liked it. It kept me guessing in a lot of ways. First and foremost, I didn't really know who to root for. Well, I knew not to root for Donald Gleeson because I never root for him.
Rule of thumb of this podcast.
I just don't like him. I think he played the same character as he did in Frank.
He's very good at playing that one character, but
on that, I think Frank
nearly
is more insidious. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, he's like the eternal everyman.
As with everything, I loved Oscar Isaac in this.
He was terrifying. Just that beard and the wife beater.
He's a total alpha male. He's built like a brick shithouse from the moment he gets in, and just hard drinking, punching a punching bag, big crazy beard, shaved head. There was such an uneasy air, even about the house that was in.
I love the house though.
Yeah, I love the house.
I want to live in that house.
Norway.
Really?
Yeah,
I must go there.
Yeah.
It's quite an ad. It's like in the room whenever the power fails.
I've been reading loads about the production of this film just because it just. I thought it was a really interesting one.
Yeah.
And I thought as well when I was going in, I thought this is basically, hold on. First of all, the premise of the film, it centers around a Turner test, doesn't it?
Turing test.
Turing test being Alan Turing of the Imitation Game. Blah 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 blah. Not a great film. Well, okay, it was pretty good. But yeah, kind of. We're not talking.
No, we're not.
It's Turing test, and when I read that was the premise for the film, I did not think it could be near as interesting as this film actually was.
I kind of agree with that. When I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, it looks good. Oh, it's a Turing test. That's a bit."
I think like a trailer has become a thing before a film now, where you have to put out just enough to get people interested that you're going to end up frustrating the expectations of it, which is exactly
that's true.
This trailer implies a storyline that the trailer sets up to fall down, basically. I really loved it. Oscar Isaac's is it Isaacs or Isaac?
Isaac.
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was Isaac's. That doesn't matter. Whatever. Move
it's
on.
Isaac's.
I'm sure.
It's Isaac's when he owns something, and you want to include that in a sentence. Go for it.
But there was, like you were saying, he's really physical in it, but there's always this air of like implied violence that never quite pans out. That really makes the whole thing really, really tense. But no, the main thing I love about this film was it would have been very easy for it to turn into just another rendition of sexy female robot, is she manipulating people? Now it's certainly that to an extent, but there's, without going into spoilers, there are kind of twists and turns in it that make it a little bit more than that, and Alicia Vikander plays that really well. I think she's
brilliant.
Her movements, just the way she moves, it's so precise, and she's fantastic. Score as well was great.
The score was really good.
Yeah, we're saying
very massive. Yeah, we're saying afterwards, very massive effect.
And a little bit of Blade Runner type stuff.
Yeah,
it's really.
And just
really
that dancing scene was one of the creepiest
things
I have. It was great. It was one of the creepiest things.
I think the main thing about this film is it would have been very easy for it to go down the route of showing gratuitous sex or violence or this kind of thing, and it actually undermines that a little bit. But more than that, and it's kind of quiet and confident.
I think I gotta say, all credit to Alex Garland, because he has constructed a very near perfect screenplay as far as I was concerned. I wouldn't give it a 5-star out the bat just purely because I didn't think it actually was going for those levels.
Yeah.
I think at base level it was a very existentialist piece that went for something different and on a lower key. And I thought that the proposition, it's been done before in other things, but never with such a positive air that if the next series of evolution is machine, let it happen, because it's like it like I was left thinking after it. Genuinely, I was left thinking, well, sure. I mean, we didn't really give a shit about the apes when we left them for dirt, did we? Why should machines give a shit about us if they're the next thing? If we created them, why not?
Yeah.
And I thought that the film worked as nearly like life in a flat circle, and that's what I found so interesting about it. I thought it was a very interesting meditation.
Time is a flat circle.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
But yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like, it wasn't looking to do anything. It was the kind of hard sci-fi that I love. It was saying you don't need an explosive third act.
I was so happy there wasn't, because I was waiting for the massive army of robots to show up and have a big shit, but it didn't happen. I was so happy it didn't happen.
Where you realise that there were, again, it's been out a while, it's not too spoiler, but the scene where you realise that she's obviously not the first is really, really well done. And it's
that was
terrific.
Genuinely creepy.
And the violence is look, we were even saying this after, it's not forceful, it's like an after.
No.
So I think we all quite enjoyed that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're going to have to do our obligatory wade through all of Oscar season and all the big names in that now.
Should we do like one noise reviews of each?
Like
that kind of noise, just, we'll say, name a film and they go,
okay.
Someone's going to cut into this midway through again. Did they just get really friendly midway? Or?
If I was to give a film from Oscar season that noise so far, it'd be Into the Woods. Now, I know you liked it.
That's not an Oscar movie though, is it? Is that up for stuff?
It's up for something.
Well, I went into it thinking it'd be a pile of crap because I don't like musicals, and I thought it was quite funny in the end. Like the musical, as a musical, it fails because I can't remember any of the songs. None of them are memorable. But as a comedy, I thought it was pretty good. It's kind of like the Lego Movie. I thought.
To finish, so I heard someone saying it's like
no, there's talking bits.
There's talking bits. Emily Blunt is genuinely hilarious. I didn't think she could do comedy the way she can. And there's that one song near the middle somewhere.
The lyrics are too intrinsic, is the thing.
Yeah, they're
the
crap.
lyrics are all plotty. There's no standout numbers.
Yeah.
But that one, the Chris Pine other Prince character sing off, remember that scene? That was really funny, I thought, when they're having that.
I thought that was.
Meryl Streep is fine. Johnny Depp is dreadful. Johnny Depp is atrocious and rapey and creepy.
I thought Little Red Riding Hood was good as well.
She was funny, yeah.
I thought there was...
James Corden is impressively bearable, which is, a shock.
No, I like James Corden.
Oh, I despise him.
There was a lot of things in this that I liked, but overall I thought to myself, that looked like it was really good on the stage.
Yeah, okay.
Great example of a movie that for me really made it in the cinema from the stage, from a massive stage show, is Les Mis. Yeah. I thought that was excellent. I thought it was really, really something. I thought they made it feel like, okay, yeah, this needed to be taken off the stage and given the cinematic treatment. Into the Woods, for me, it felt like, God, that would have worked way better on a stage. I've never really enjoyed... Sorry, Rob, if you're listening. I've never really enjoyed anything Rob Marshall has done, and I'm a big fan of musicals. I am. So for me, this was just about alright. Even if you're a fan of musicals, you could probably miss this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you need to see it in the cinema, but if it's just on TV somewhere, I thought it was quite funny. It's not a good musical, but it's as a sort of Lego movie style Disney movie. Yeah, it's alright.
Well, no, if you're going for no, it's deconstruction. It's all deconstruction of fairy tale stories. Basically, okay. Sorry, we didn't even give a good. Basically,
everyone knows what it is.
So hold on, you got Jack and the Beanstalk,
Red Riding Hood, Cinderella,
and a little
Rapunzel
story called Rapunzel, a little known story called The Witch's Garden. All going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
That's the people stealing from the witch's garden, the vegetables. All going on with a bunch of Prince Charmings in the mix for good measure. And basically all the stories kind of get resolved midway through. And
then it becomes Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Which is infinitely better. I haven't seen Into the Woods, but I've seen Attack on Titan, someone.
It goes the deconstruction angle, and... Yeah, it's interesting, but if you want to go the deconstructing angle, I'd much more recommend the short stories of Angela Carter, because this
to children.
Less to sing about than that somehow. Yeah.
Well, this isn't a movie for children.
Yeah, I've heard.
Well, no, as I said, this movie is, but it's the stage show wasn't, from what I understand.
Well, I mean,
I thought it felt very sanitized.
What about without giving anything away? Hopefully, what about the way Emily Blunt's story comes to an end?
I thought that was the worst thing in the film. I was like, that is the most horror movie logic of, here's a female character we don't want anymore. Let's have her transgress and then plot her out.
But there's a lot of that.
I know what you mean. It was aimed a bit higher age-wise than most of these films are, but I still think it is aiming for a relatively young audience.
And I think, as well, there's some things, that they're aiming for a slightly higher age, but I think
Johnny Depp.
I think Johnny Depp was just misjudged. I don't think. If
I would love to know the direction.
Realised how creepy and pervy that would be, they wouldn't have included it.
Wait, so is he like a sex
he's the
fiend
wolf.
In the way that
he's the
basically? That's what. Yeah, it actually is closer to the old fairy tales in some ways. His one especially, he's just genuinely rapey and creepy and awful and
grim, basically.
Yeah.
Like even the song about his character is just the most creepy, lecherous thing. It's dreadful.
The deconstruction is
I'm just going to see it based on this.
I mean, yeah, watch it for those reasons.
The deconstruction is not successful. Ultimately, the one thing that I really give hats off to for it, because is the way that they didn't show the giant. Really, I thought that kind of...
Yeah, although by the end I was kind of bored. I wanted her to show up, so just show it.
Yeah, but they could have just gone for a big Michael Bayism on that. But overall, it didn't tie well together for me. It'll be interesting from a distance. I'm sure there's loads of wanky things being written about the deconstructions already. But overall,
on that note, Birdman.
Okay. Let's go Birdman.
Birdman.
Rory.
Well, hold on. I can pronounce names too. Alejandro González Iñárritu, except now it's not Alejandro G Iñárritu because that's a given. You have to lose syllables when you
make
it.
Okay.
So Birdman is basically about a washed-up actor who was kind of played a superhero in the 80s and is now kind of, I suppose, trying to regain some shred of credibility by putting on. Is it Raymond Chandler?
Raymond Chandler,
on Broadway.
Raymond Carver. Raymond Chandler wrote Detective Stories.
Yeah. I was wondering.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Playing the film more. But yeah, basically, it's kind of, it just does not go his way between contending with diva actors and
his daughter.
An addict daughter, and but It's straddled somewhere between comedy and drama. It does it very well, I think. I know Richard's going to disagree possibly. Yeah, I really enjoyed this, possibly because it's Michael Keaton just had to swallow so much pride to even accept the role, but I'm glad he did because he's brilliant in it.
There's so much in this film that I love, right?
Actually, I've only seen it once and I keep meaning to rewatch it.
I've seen it twice. Now, one of the things I love about it is it gets a bit meta on itself in a way that the books of John Irving have. Now, bear with me for a second, okay? The books of John Irving pretty much come to a climax, and then they're just brilliant after The World According to Garp, because he couldn't stop writing about his own just sort of dramatic life and inwardy feelings until eventually and I've read this in John Irving's autobiography, he just began to sort of meditate on stories and allow them to happen naturally. And then he achieved greatness with Garp, and then he was able to construct stories perfectly after that. Just stories that needn't have necessarily involved his own emotions. Now, I feel like this is the way Inarritu's career has gone. Like he has some forgettable stuff. His first film is fantastic, Amareros Perros. 21 Grams is very good. Babel is very forgettable. Beautiful with Javier Bardem, I really enjoyed, and I reckon that's the film he started meditating on storylines. And I reckon really with Birdman he's gone to somewhere very, very interesting with that concept, and that's the fact that the main character in this is essentially ego. And now what Richard is going to say about this has already been said by a number of film critics, and I can it's pretentious, and the way that Inarritu approached the storyline is distracting in that it's conceived and sort of constructed as a one-shot film, and there's a very bumpity jazz drumming score which I really loved. Yeah. I thought that worked so well.
I'm on the fence about the score. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. It didn't really do anything for me other than kind of
present in a sense that you're saying give that an Oscar, but
I thought
it had an atmosphere that I really liked.
In places
things are happening, and what you'd imagine behind the scenes on a play to be, and the fact that it was one continuous shot gave the
Richard will hate my next remark particularly because this was one of those films that
about his mother.
I don't break silence a great deal very directly when I'm watching a film, but I did something during this film that the last time I remember doing it was during the Lego Movie, which I adored, which was nudge the person beside me and go, can you believe how fucking good this is? That's how much I love this film. Richard, go on.
Well, I saw it alone, so I had no friends to see it with. There's the couch beside me. No, I when I first saw it, I was a bit annoyed about it. I've gotten less annoyed. You actually kind of sort of sold it to me the last time I talked about this when you said that, yes, everything it's saying isn't new, but the way it presents it is pretty much the best way it's ever presented those kind of themes on it. And I kind of agree with that. I just think it really comes across like it's saying the most important, most original thought, and it just isn't. And like, okay, I really enjoyed it. I laughed the whole way through. I'll watch it again. The ending was absolute bullshit, but aside from that, the score is fine. Keaton is excellent. Keaton's absolutely fantastic. Norton's pretty good. Emma Stone's really good. I
even thought Naomi Watts was really good.
She's okay. I didn't understand her subplot though. Oh yeah, he's very good. Yeah,
he's very sinister towards the end, which I really liked because usually he's affable.
And the theatre critic was excellent. Yeah. And also
Lindsay Duncan, she's great. Yes.
It had my favourite shot that I've seen in a film this year so far, and that was when I'm not going to say what happened in this particular bit, but basically when the camera focuses in on the audience.
Oh yeah.
When they're looking up at them, and I just thought that was magical.
In terms of it trying to say something, I never really got that. There is that one scene where he's talking directly. You're sitting there as a critic because I'm here at the press screening, and there's a part where towards the end of that scene I was like, lay off me a second. I'm here to enjoy this. I'm on your side. That feels a bit preachy, but
you see, his little rant about a critic, I think, is basically Inarritu just trying to send up an actor a bit, because everybody in that, it's not having a go at critics. It's just that's the classical thing that like bitter actors or directors say at critics.
Yeah.
Like Vincent Gallo. When Roger Ebert had a tirade about him, actually I was reading up on this again the other day. It was so funny when he gave out his film The Brown Bunny. He called Roger Ebert a fat pig, and he said, I might be fat but someday I'll be thin, but he will always be the director of The Brown Bunny. To which Vincent Gallo responded, I put a hex on the colon of Roger Ebert, and he said, well, then I'll have to get a colonoscopy and it will still be more entertaining than the Brown Bunny. Which is just like, don't get into a word of wars with someone who uses them professionally. But I don't think that's what he was doing with the scene in The Critic. Like, the first thing I saw, we thought he was like trying to deconstruct theatre and have a go at that. I didn't think really that at all. I think it was just, when you zero down to basics, it was about ego and performance in every capacity that exists. Even her review of the play in the end was total horseshit.
Yeah, that pissed me off a lot. But the whole last act kind of annoyed me, I think.
But like, I everything that people have been saying that has been annoying them about that, I genuinely think that's what it's going for.
You see, that's what I can't tell. I'm not sure if the film is intentionally like 2 layers of meta, kind of like South Park, like showing you all this stuff, but not making a judgment call, and just saying, isn't everything stupid? Or if it actually is trying to say something. And if it's trying to say something, I hate it. If it is just doing the whole, aren't like Broadway and movies and superhero movies and critics, aren't they all just idiots? That's less egregious, I suppose.
I think it's just flippant, to be honest. It's just like...
maybe. I just think it's just all about ego and performance and showing you... I don't think it's saying any of them are ridiculous. I don't think it's saying any of them are whatever the opposite of ridiculous.
So you're saying there's nothing to say then? It's just totally shallow. In that case, I agree completely.
No. I'm saying it's ego and performance. I'm saying it's a meditation more so than a didactic presentation.
Okay.
Which
this got very wordy.
It did, yeah. I liked it.
Very true.
If nothing else, I think we're saying that people should see this.
Oh yeah, I'd recommend seeing it.
Discussion.
I'd imagine most people have already.
Yeah, probably.
But watching this film at last.
Is it still in cinemas even at this point?
I count that as a win, guys. I count that as a win. Richard said we should go see it. All right. Let's speedily run through Foxcatcher because it's been out for ages now. I really like this. I enjoy the films of Bennett Miller in general. This sort of spin on truth is something he's done before very well with Capote and Moneyball, but I think this is better than both of them.
I think you could go into this very cynically looking at it as, like we were saying, Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is eventually going to do this Channing Tatum's version of that.
That's very true. Yeah.
It's coming out just before Oscar season, but
Channing Tatum, I'd say Steve Carell, no?
Well, yeah, but I'm talking more the kind of airhead action guy. Although he's kind of already transcended that in Jump Street. But my point is, if you go see this, even with all that in mind, the performances will probably win you over, I think.
Yeah, performances-wise, it's fantastic. I think it didn't really work for me as a drama, but I look forward to reading essays about it.
Goes on, I hate having to say this about films, but it goes on 20 minutes too long.
Yeah, it does, definitely.
Yeah, and it's a bit, but I always kind of just accept that with biopics, it's going to be...
It's based on a true story. I made the mistake of looking it up beforehand. I know a lot of people who did not and were taken completely by surprise do not look up the story because basically any American audience will apparently know the story already. I did not. I wish I had looked it up. Also, they recently had Al Pacino playing Phil Spector in a biopic. Can we remake that with Steve Carell as Phil Spector? Because I know it's kind of a similar story, but he's amazing in this.
He is fantastic.
But they're all quite.
I would give him the Oscar this year. Yeah. I genuinely.
Apparently, Sienna Miller's in that movie. I didn't even know it was Sienna Miller. Like, wow, Sienna Miller's still working. That's good to know.
Another wife.
Also, actually, great old segue. She's also in American Sniper, and you wouldn't recognise her.
Haven't seen.
I'm so surprised by this. I fucking loved it. People have been saying it's too political. I thought, no, this kind of ignored politics.
Yeah, I suppose let's give it a quick rundown first because I agree. Like, there's been divisive stuff over this we can talk about. But yeah, it's based on Chris Kyle, who was literally an American sniper, racked up the highest kill count in the American army, and was,
based on his autobiography.
Yeah, and was boasting about having made almost double the amount of kills, unconfirmed. But basically, yeah, so it's about a soldier who signs up to the army, sees 9/11 happen, and basically joins the Marine. Oh, no, is it the Marines? The SEALs?
No, he was in the SEALs already at that point. Yeah.
Okay, but he joins the SEALs and it goes over and ends up doing 4 tours in Iraq. As his kind of, and the years goes on, you just see him harden into this proper. On the one hand, people will call him a patriot. On another, it's kind of like he's kind of a murderer who just happens to have a uniform on. Now, this film is divisive because it's based on a real life character who many people are just stridently hate. I went into it knowing it's based on a true story, knowing nothing about Chris Kyle, the real person. Loved it and came out and read about Chris Kyle, and all it did was confirm to me that this film isn't making a political statement at all.
Okay, interesting.
People are saying it doesn't show any context of the war in Iraq.
I think that's a good thing.
Well, and they're also saying that it's painting him as a patriot. I don't think either of those things are true. I don't think it's meant to be about whether or not they should have been in Iraq or not, whether or not he was a killer.
I think it's about war. It's a great film about war.
Yeah. Like, there's one scene late in it where, and I can see Richard will have something to say about this, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. No, because honestly, because I think it's really interesting, because people are just taking completely different readings from this, but this is my reading of it.
People are saying it's a right wing flag.
It's a glorification of flag waving,
Don't
which
think
I
so.
completely disagree with. It doesn't paint him as a hero. It also probably doesn't villainize him the way, having read as briefly as I had about the real Chris Kyle, the way he maybe deserves, if I can make a judgment like that. But
I've also I have to chime in with this. Anytime Bradley Cooper does something in future, I'm going to stand up and take notice, because he is really good in this.
Yeah.
He's really good, and it's one of those brilliant, subtle performances that not many actors are capable of.
Most of the best scenes, actually, it's kind of, I suppose I'd say it's structured, it's punctuated with scenes at home.
With a fake baby, from what all I've seen is the fake baby.
Okay, that's a bit weird.
But, have you seen American Life yet, actually?
No.
Oh,
no.
sorry. But yeah, basically, the scenes at home are where Bradley Cooper absolutely shines. Yeah. It's kind of showing how he's changing when he's back in suburban life as opposed to when he's over.
And do you know who else shines in this?
Sienna Miller is quite good, I think.
Clint freaking Eastwood. It's the best film he's made in years.
I think it's a return to form, but that's after a sorry 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
Because forget not, before those 5 or 6 years, pretty like, which we're talking basically, I'm going to say everything he made after Flags of Iwo Jima I didn't enjoy. I love Flags of Iwo Jima, but then you have Invictus, which was kind of pants.
That was crap.
The Jersey Boys last year, which was absolute pants. Hereafter, which I don't even want to like.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Matt Damon's After. Flick is very not good.
Very heard it here first.
Very not good. But overall, before that, Clint Eastwood's career is and also J. Edgar, which is terrible. I hated J. Edgar. It's the worst film Leonardo DiCaprio has been in, as far as I can judge. Before that, he was a doozy of a filmmaker, and this is really a return to form. I think.
I only actually realised when I was looking up, I was doing the review for Film Man for American Sniper, how like annoyingly prolific Clint Eastwood was. He's like at least one film a year for the last few years,
and many of them, like since he started directing with Play Misty for me, have been fucking classics.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to say this is one immediately, but as far as American films about war go, I rate this, first of all, above The Hurt Locker. I enjoyed it more. I thought it was, but I also thought it was less pro-war than The Hurt Locker.
Yeah, I think the main thing I need to say about this film is that it doesn't. People are looking at it as propaganda, and I don't think it's that at all. I don't think it lands on his side. I think something that actually compromised it is the screenwriter for this film has been trying to get a film based on this book made for years. Chris Kyle died in 2013. And I'm speaking suspicion this film was probably in production, and it changed significantly the way they geared it.
Right.
Like, this film ends in a way that absolutely supports those who would read it as propaganda, but I think the preceding 2 hours completely different. The key scene in this for me is basically they set up, I don't want to spoil too much for you,
go ahead.
Purely for dramatic purposes, they set up a kind of nemesis sniper.
I've heard about this a lot,
Yeah. Who may or
is
may
dressed
not
in
be
black the whole time, and
a big streaming bandana while it pops from roof to roof, and that kind of dramatic structure did bother me because it made it seem like it was made a western almost. They were gunslingers by the end of it. But the key scene in this, I think, is he's on his 4th tour. His friends have died around him. His wife is telling him, "Please stay home," but he keeps. This is the point where he's calling Iraqi savages and saying, "I need to go over there and save the world," essentially. And they're brought in to oversee this construction thing, and the soldiers are being picked off by an enemy sniper.
Yeah.
And straight away he asks his unit leader, "Is it Mustafa, this nemesis sniper?" And the unit leader, all the other new soldiers around just go, "Who?" And he and his friend go, they get really offended and take a step back and say, "This is the guy who killed all our friends. This is the bad guy." And they go, "Well, we don't care. We just want to, we need you to secure the site, whoever it is." And that's kind of what made it for me, is that he needed the war to be so personal, and he couldn't keep it that way because
interesting.
they were just flesh on the scales, essentially. They were just more bodies being thrown at. It doesn't matter what their politics were. And I waxed overly poetic about that, but that, yeah.
I'm going to run very quickly through the next film, just because I think if the people who listen to this podcast have almost certainly seen this already. If they haven't, they're not going to. But we do need to wax lyrical for 2 minutes about how brilliant Whiplash is.
Oh God, Whiplash!
Whiplash is brilliant.
Whiplash here we go. Whiplash for me is a better, more satisfying movie than Birdman, and has a better drum jazz based soundtrack.
Yeah, that's like saying Jupiter Ascending is going to have better sci-fi than American Sniper. It's a movie about drumming.
It's a movie about drumming. It's a film that's so good that it has really... people have been saying it has no right to be, but when I heard about what it was about, I was very interested automatically, just because the subject is so out there. And it just works on every fucking level. I'd say when people got this script into their hands, they were clawing at each other to get into it, because it's such... Oh God, it's everything cinema strives to be, which I actually coincidentally I also think Birdman is.
All right.
I really think this is visually striking. It's got great performances.
Yeah.
It's got perfect arcs all around, and it makes you think a lot. And as well, this is one I did see on my own, and I had to run home and make my housemate go and see it so I could have someone to talk to about this film. It's that good. You need to go see it, because this will be coming up at dinner parties for quite some
The
time.
ending is the most satisfying ending to any film I've seen in a long time, and J.K. Simmons deserves every award that can get thrown at him. He's just absolutely fantastic.
He's brilliant. He does this thing.
He's terrible.
Where he also a line that will just
not my tempo.
That's not my tempo.
Yeah.
That's going to echo in popular culture.
I hope so.
Sublimely, and also this thing.
Oh yeah, the aircraft. Yeah.
Wow.
That definitely translated to the podcast. But,
man grabs air on microphone.
Yeah, I'm sure people are hearing this, and if they've seen Whiplash, they're probably
what does one hand clapping sound like?
Sounds like this. All right. Now I'm gonna. Okay, Shaun the Sheep. I saw that this morning. This is. Well, it's probably, to be honest, the weakest Aardman film I've seen in a while. But that being said, it's still pretty damn good. It is not as good as either the Source Wallace and Gromit cartoon, a close shave, which you should all see. It's available for free on YouTube.
Wait, is Shaun the Sheep a spin-off of Wallace and Gromit?
He was initially a
I
character
didn't know that.
in Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, but he also had his own little...
Yeah, I knew the old, the kid show. Yeah.
The team song.
The TV show is brilliant. Overall, it's a good feature outing for him. I'm not going to get too much into the plot. People who are going to go see this will see this anyway. If you're an Aardman fan, which I am ardently... you will enjoy it. Should I say ardently?
Yeah.
I missed the pun.
No, if you left it alone, people would have credited you and said that was such a fun, and then cut that out, Steve. What do you say?
But yeah, this is well worth everybody's time if you're an Aardman fan. Although kids will love it. It's very funny, and it's also the sort of thing kids should be laughing at. It's not Postman Pat the movie. It's not Pudsey the dog. Go see it.
Pudsey the dog.
Yeah, sorry, Rory was missing that.
Hurt.
No, I still hurt. I just went to see. I was just at a Sony sponsored screening of The Wedding Ringer last night.
Oh, do tell.
And no amount of free booze that they can give you in the screening.
There was free booze at it? Oh, nice.
Could really prepare this for me. And the worst thing was, everybody was laughing along with it. Everyone was enjoying it. So you know what? If you respect our opinions, or mine, don't go to see it. It's terrible. It's cynical filmmaking of the highest degree. You can see it was built in test screenings. You can see, oh God, they laughed when we heard the funny white guy. Let's do that. There's 10 times more throughout the film. I really like the comedy of Kevin Hart. I really do enjoy his stand-up comedy. This is not it. This isn't like the way they constructed films for Eddie Murphy in the 1980s. This is pure cynical rubbish. But that said, everybody in the screening room was laughing their ass off, so what the hell do I know? Don't go see it, or listen to the majority of people who were in the screening room, which was quite full, who were laughing their ass off. They'll tell you go see it. I'm telling you it's a piece of shit. Make up your own mind. Inherent Vice.
Yeah, very quickly, Paul Thomas Anderson's next one. P.T. Anderson. People keep saying that. Is that a thing?
It's totally a thing.
Clearly I'm not close enough to him. This is based on the book by Thomas Pynchon, which if you're a Film Ireland podcast aficionado, you would have heard me rustling the pages of it last time, as Donnchadh lended it to me.
Lent.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
we'll
Lent.
argue about that afterwards. Whatever. I'm taking like Pynchon liberties there with
Alright, starting off, this is a director who for me has yet to put a foot wrong, and he doesn't with this one. Now Rory hasn't seen everything he's done yet. I have, and I'm a massive fan. But here comes the but. This might be one for the fan, because this is really, really dense. I wouldn't recommend this to 3 out of 4 people. First of all, as well, I've read the book, so it's such a dense storyline. It's difficult to give a synopsis for. Joaquin Phoenix plays a PI hippie in 1970 Los Angeles who is looking for a missing person as suggested to him by his ex-girlfriend, and what unwinds is a conspiracy that may or may not go all the way to the top, or it may just be the paranoid fantasy of Joaquin Phoenix's doper fiend lead role. Now, everything that you want in an Anderson film, if you're a fan, is there. He gets great performances out of people. This is his second great performance out of Joaquin Phoenix. Johnny Greenwood shows up and does a great soundtrack once again, and it's shot brilliantly. It's not. A lot of people didn't like American Hustle. I did, but a lot of people gave out about what's essentially exploitation of the time cinema and taking advantage of that aesthetic with clothes and stuff. No, this is shot like look. People dress the way you imagine people would have. It's shot very well. It looks like you imagine the 1970 Los Angeles hippie culture to look like. Josh Brolin and Joaquin Phoenix's kind of buddy movie bits in it are very, very good.
Yeah.
They're probably the best scenes in the film. I didn't, in a weird note, I didn't start enjoying it really. There was like a good half an hour in the middle where I said, oh god, no, this is his turkey. And then, kind of like it did with The Master, but much more so with The Master, because I really enjoyed The Master, Paul Thomas Anderson sort of rescued the show and tied it together, and I went, oh my god, thank god, it makes sense, it's a complete picture, I'm enjoying this. And I did enjoy it for the finish. I really enjoyed it, in fact. I'm going to watch it again, but I'll say this now, 3 out of 4 people will not enjoy this, because it is very dense, very hard to follow. It may be called boring, and if somebody called it boring, I wouldn't be able to criticise them too harshly. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I suppose to come in along the same thing, I literally just finished. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't finish the book. I have 4 pages left this week. But
works as a great companion piece of the book.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've read the book, I found the book very difficult to get, and apparently that's beginner pinching. This film helped me understand the book more.
Yeah, even if it didn't, I would imagine if you cared enough to stick through the book, see the film. When you say it kind of tied together towards the end, I need to see it again. I think you might be crediting Anderson a little bit too much, but as you say, you've seen more of his stuff than I have. And
I'm very aware of the danger that I don't want this guy to ever make a bad film.
Yeah. But if nothing else, performances, which is kind of the thing that holds it all together.
Phoenix is again the best thing in this. Joaquin Phoenix is some actor, is all I'll say.
Josh Brolin playing this kind of hard ass hippie hating cop called Bigfoot Bjornsson. He's wonderful.
He's brilliant.
It's not the comedy that the trailer will lead you to.
The trailer confused me. I didn't understand what the plot was. I didn't understand what tone this movie was supposed to be.
And I call this right now and say Richard won't like this movie.
I was going to say, since I am that guy in this podcast, I'll probably see it next week, and next podcast I'll hate it.
But that's the thing, I'm actually interested for you to see it, but I haven't read the book.
I didn't like The Master either, so
because the
I
book,
love The Master.
I feel, if I can attribute a point to it, it's scattered. As you say, you don't know whether he's imagining this or whether he's paranoid or whether there is an actual conspiracy. It's scattered, it's detached, it's almost too convenient. Things link up in a way that they shouldn't. It didn't hang together as a film for me as well as it did as a book, but I would still definitely say see it. Performances, Paul Thomas Anderson can shoot like anyone. He casts brilliantly, and definitely worth seeing.
This is I sense an essay coming on if I was still in college, because there is a lot going on in this. Like, anybody who watches this, and people will watch this and say this meanders and makes no sense and it's just an exercise in pretentious wank, they don't know Paul Thomas Anderson then, because if you just took the rest of his filmography to look at, I mean, you even having not liked The Master, I'm sure you would agree that this guy would never set out to make a film without thinking it through fully. There's a lot going on in this. This isn't a dumb movie with a hollow heart. There is a lot going on in this.
Yeah, I think my favourite thing about Anderson is, he's slightly pretentious. For people who enjoy his stuff and will wax poetic about it, he's kind of, I even using that phrase last week, it was in the movie, I don't know. But he's kind of niche in a sense, but he's never remote. He's you never watch him just to be arty. I think you'll find something to sit down to watch him.
There's a great stretch of the imagination. Sorry, I don't even know why I said it there, but for the mainstream public viewing, I hate saying it, but you could probably stop watching Anderson at Boogie Nights, just leave it off. But I wouldn't do that for the world. And I prefer his afterward output, and I love Boogie Nights. That's a 5-star film.
It's a good movie.
Adam Sandler one again that I watched.
Punch Drunk Love. It's amazing.
I think a lot of people would enjoy that too, and There Will Be Blood. But yeah, The Master and this are, I wouldn't say they're companion pieces, but they're similar. If someone walks out, like during this screening, 5 people walked out.
Wow.
Today. And I would say if you did that in The Master, you'll do it in this too. Possibly.
Yeah, quite a few people walked out of The Master when I viewed it the first time.
But sorry, to
and I say the first time, I went to see it twice, and I'm going to go see it. I give a shit. I love this guy. I love this. And you know what? It's always the measure of a wanky movie, and it just tells me I'm a wanker every year. I guarantee you, at the end of the year, when you look at the Cahiers du Cinema Top 10, that's the French movie magazine that was founded by...
Did you pronounce the Irish version of the word?
Cahiers.
Yeah, Cahier.
Fuck off. It's going to be on the... It's going to be... This will be in the top 10.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. I suppose to sum up, if this is going to sound condescending, and it's not meant that way at all, because I'm still not sure how I feel about Inherent Vice, but... If you're going into the cinema and you're looking to just pay your money, get your popcorn and enjoy something, you would probably, and I think you, Donnchadh, would agree with this, you'd probably steer more people towards The Wedding Ringer than Inherent Vice.
I would never steer anyone towards
But knowing the results, okay, if
oh, well, sorry, with my head in my hands I would go, you'll probably enjoy it, you pleb.
I'll shoot you on the way out, but,
go. Cinema experience and they got to come back and kick you between the legs, you'd steer them towards The Wedding Ringer.
I wish there was a certain type of poison gas that would attach itself only to people who are laughing.
A kind of reverse Joker toxin then.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I've got one final one to speak about. Neither of you have seen it, and I freaking loved it. I'm going to give it my cinema movie of the week. Kingsman.
Oh,
The Secret
I'm dying
Service
to see it.
is a doozy. Taron Egerton is such a find. Matthew Vaughn, you're a gent for finding us all these newcomers. I've read the comic book. I thought it was okay. This is just great. This is just beautiful cinematic fun. People are often... this was, for me, like the Grand Budapest Hotel, because I watched the trailer of the Grand Budapest Hotel and went, oh, it's happened at last. Wes Anderson's a parody of himself, and then he produced his best work yet. That's what this is with Matthew Vaughn, as far as I'm concerned. People might say style over substance when it comes to his filmography. This, at last, confirms that as far as this man cares, style is substance, and this is very, very, very fucking stylish indeed. It's funny. There's a few misjudged things in it. Michael Caine kind of phones in his performance, and there's one part in it where he actually does act, but the thing is, that's not the big problem. It's just such a small role, and he's such a big actor that he kind of sucks in a bit of screen presence, and there's a bit of a vacuous hole where he would have not been. But that said, it's style is substance, and if Michael Caine wants to do your movie, then you let him, I suppose. And other than that, there's a very, very, very misjudged Samuel L. Jackson lisp, which I really think they should have reconsidered.
That wasn't being the trailers, but it still looks like a lot of fun.
I really think they should have reconsidered. It is a lot of fun. I can't go near the ending, but it did inspire something in me that I would love to interview like academics around the country to do with politics, science and psychology, and try and figure out a prognosis for how the world would be after the events that happen in Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Oh God, I want to watch it right now.
Yeah, sociological.
A kind of a World War Z of, but Matthew Vaughn has such fun in these movies. He doesn't give a shit about the consequences. It's brilliant. Go see Kingsman. It's my film of the week, definitely. And that said, Paul Thomas Anderson is probably my favorite director working in the world today. But go see Kingsman every time. Go see Kingsman before it. Now, lads, we've got homework for each other next week. I think we decided that based on the presence of Inaratu,
we'd be looking at foreign directors, not foreign, that sounds very, I don't work in the visa office.
Foreign language directors.
Yes, and who have done English language, who's translated
yes.
English language films.
Okay, I'm going to, for you, Rory, what was it we decided on? Oh yeah, Stoker.
Stoker, yeah.
Stoker by the the Korean guy who did
Park
Old
Chan
Boy.
Wook.
Park Chan Wook. Oh, you made me say it. You made me say it.
Give him a chance in there.
Park Chan Wook. Okay. We're going to give you
Snowpiercer, wasn't it?
Snowpiercer by whom?
I couldn't tell you. I can't remember his name.
One car pay.
In the basement.
Was that a name or just noises?
Mine is going to be.
I wish you
what
just
was
didn't guess. I hope that's actually accurate. I'm going to inflict Michel Gondry's The Green Hornet on you, purely because I've only seen the first hour of it, but it's an arty director doing a superhero film, so enjoy.
Alright, and if you agree or disagree with any of our film reviews, either comment online, but we won't get them that way because we don't have internet in the basement. So if you just want to maybe just throw them in paper airplane form down the food hole, Stephen Galwithin will tell you where it is. I think it's located somewhere on Dame Street.
Yeah.
I've been Donnchadh Tiernan.
I remain Ruairí Moore.
And I'm still Richard Drumm.
Okay, but tonight I'll be Batman. Be good.
Let's go. But inconspicuously. Through the window.